listening to Erik Waddell Pause. This is episode 15, How We Make Claims. Today I'm speaking about our orange situation, symbolized in the star framework by the orange exclamation mark. And this situation is called ACUTE. An acute situation is any situation that is sudden, unexpected, and intense. We might be ambushed, startled, attacked, panicked. These are highly uncomfortable situations. Most of us spend a lot of time trying to avoid acute situations. Many of us spend hours upon hours preparing ourselves in different ways in order to avoid ambushes, attacks, unforeseen turns of events. Today's episode I have chosen to call How We Make Claims. How we make claims is one deciding factor behind why acute situations happen in the first place. All throughout our lives we make different claims. And there are a lot of claims every day that we pass on account of that we know that if we would make that claim, then we would be vulnerable to some kind of acute situation. We know we would be vulnerable to some kind of attack, some kind of reaction, some kind of counter force, some kind of counter claim. If we make a claim in a way that is not skillful, if we make a claim that is clumsy or conceited or ill-informed, then we will not be perceived as an authority, and thereby we will be vulnerable to some kind of reaction, some kind of counterclaim, some kind of attack. However, when we make our claims in a skillful way, this episode is called How We Make Claims, not what claims we make, but how we make claims. When we make claims in a skillful way, then we will be perceived as an authority. And when we are perceived as an authority, acute situations, not all of them, but many of them will go away before they happen in the first place. My argument here is that the acute situations that happen in our lives, not all of them, but many of them, are connected to what claims we make and what claims we do not make, but most importantly, how we make them. Many of our regrets, the things we never did, the chances we never took, the ideas we had but never realized, the dreams we had but let go of. All of these are claims we never made. To be ambushed is highly uncomfortable. It can even be dangerous, depending on how we made the claim. Each and every one of us must decide on our own how willing we are to being vulnerable to acute situations. If we try to avoid acute situations altogether, then that would not make for an exciting life. Sometimes in life we have this idea of what claims are reasonable and what claims are unreasonable. We often think of claims in terms of what claims are acceptable, what claims are not acceptable. But sometimes we have an idea about a claim, and someone comes along and makes that claim in a way that puts our perceived image of it on its head. Sometimes someone steps in and makes a claim in a way that we cannot say anything else but, wow, that was cool. Oftentimes, things can change in how we view them. if we give some thought to how we do it, by making adjustments, by experimenting, by being active, to try things little by little and see what happens. To test our preconceived notions about what our life is supposed to be, about who we are supposed to be. The thing is, who we are supposed to be is not as set in stone as we often think. How we make claims. There are all sorts of things we can claim. We can claim space. We can walk down the middle of the road. We can claim that space. Or we can choose not to claim the space and walk right next to the wall, make a little claim of the road. Hugging the walls, as they say. We can make claims about things. We can put our hands on things. When we put our entire palm on something, not just our fingertips, but our entire palm. When we put our entire palm against something, then that thing comes in contact with our bodies. And thereby we make the claim in such a way that it is very full. That is a very full claim. We do it in such a way that the thing that we put our hands on and ourselves become one. If I put my fingertips on something, not my full hand, just my fingertips, then there is this other way of making that claim. It has this kind of it's sort of like if I would ask a question when I'm not really sure, then I just put my fingertips on something. It's not the full hand, it's not the full palm on my hand, it's just my fingertips. I cannot feel as much about the thing I am touching if it's just my fingertips. If it's my full hand, I can feel the texture and the warmth of the thing itself. But with my fingertips, it's more fluctuous, more fleeting, more different vibe. And by now, in this episode, you might be having some sort of emotional images inside of what I'm talking about. Making claims is a very physical thing. And how we make these physical claims, how we claim space, how we claim things. Where I stand with my 2 feet, how I stand with my 2 feet. How we make claims, the authority that becomes natural to us, is very much about the thoughts we are thinking, the ideas we're having, and how we are backing them up with our physical body. And when our ideas and our physical body, how we make physical claims, when those two line up and work together, then the consequence is organic, long-lasting authority. It's like if you are in a band and before you can play good music, you have to tune your instruments so that once you start playing, you are all in tune. It's sort of like that. If the mental claims you make, your ideas, your identity, if that does not match up with your physical claims, how you stand with your 2 feet and how you put your hands on things, if your mental claims and your physical claims does not match, if they are out of tune, if your instruments are not properly tuned to one another, then your authority will be short-lived and debated. The consequence will be that a lot of acute situations will start coming your way. A lot of sudden, unforeseen attacks, counterclaims, ambushes, critique will start coming your way. If your mental claims and your physical claims are not lined up, then no one will know what you are about, and no one will feel that you are realistic about who you are. And thus you will not be given authority. So it's not about making greater claims. It's not about faking authority. It's not about being macho. It's not about being humble either. It's not about making yourself smaller. It's about matching up what you think with what you do with your body. So if you watch a dog or a bird or any animal, then their thinking and their body are in perfect sync, perfectly in tune. And therefore there are less misunderstandings among other animals. There are less acute situations happening in their lives because they just have to give one look to one another and they can instantly tell what claims would be natural to each of them. But we are out of tune between our mental claims and our physical claims. So we walk around and misunderstand ourselves and others all the time. There are thousands upon thousands of misunderstandings in our daily lives. And my bittersweet message to you right now is that if you are sick and tired of just a bunch of acute situations happening in your life all the time, everything seems to be jumping at you, then you are probably out of sync between what you're thinking and what you're claiming with your body. It could be that you are claiming too much or too little, but as I have said many times in this episode, it's more about how you make your claims. It's about how you make your claims. Sometimes you might even have the physical competence to make the claim in a skillful way, but you have an idea, you have a different idea about how you are supposed to make the claim. Maybe someone else's idea about how you should make your claim. And to round this off, I will go a bit on a limb and actually show some of my true colors. If you are unsure if it's your body or your mind that is misunderstanding the claims or making the claims in an unskilled way, it's probably your mind. I would say trust your body more than you trust your mind. I would say that your body is more competent than your mind. So I would say go slow, try it little by little, but start trusting your body more and your mind less. Start think more about non-verbals than verbals. I would say learn less and do more. Be more physical. There is less room for misunderstandings when we are more physical. Animals are more physical and they have less misunderstandings. I think that's it. Do you have any questions? Something you're wondering?
No.
Thank you.
Thank you.